Chapter 11. We faced each other across a small table, talking. The table was very old, round, set with one candle in the middle. The candle had been stuck directly onto a saucer. And that was the entire inventory of furnishings in the room. There weren't any chairs. We sat on the piles of books. It was the shipman's room. Narrow and cramped, the walls and ceiling had the feeling of the old Dolphin Hotel, but it wasn't the old hotel either. At the far end of the room was a window, boarded up from the inside. Boarded up for a long time, if the rusty nails and grey dust in the cracks of the boards were any indication. The room was a rectangular box, no lights, no closet, no bath, no bed. He must have slept on the floor, wrapped in his ship costume. There was barely enough room to walk. The room was littered with yellowing old books and newspapers and scrapbooks filled with clippings. Some were worm-eaten, falling apart at their bindings, all from what I could tell having to do with the history of ship in Hokkaido. All probably from the archive at the Old Dolphin Hotel. The ship reference room, which the owner's father, the ship professor, pretty much lived in. Whatever became of him? The shipman looked at me across the flickering candle flame. Behind him, his disproportionately enormous shadow displayed over a grimy wall. "Been a long time," he spoke from behind his mask. "Let's see you thinner or what?" "Yeah, I might have lost some weight." "So tell us, what's the world outside? We don't get much news. Not in here." I crossed my legs and shook my head. "Same as ever. Nothing worth mentioning. Everything's getting more complicated. Everything's speeding up. No, nothing's really new." The shipman nodded. "Next war hasn't begun yet, we take it?" Which was the shipman's last war? I wasn't sure. "Not yet," I said. "But sooner or later it will," he voiced, uninflected, folding his mitted hands. "You better watch out. What's gonna come? No three ways about it. Mark our words. Can't trust people. Won't do any good. They'll kill you every time. They'll kill each other. They'll kill everyone." The shipman's fleece was dingy, the wool stiff and greasy. His marks looked bad too, like something patched together at the last minute. The poor light in the damp room didn't help, and maybe my memory was wrong, but it wasn't just the costume. The shipman was worn out. Since the last time I'd seen him 4 years ago, he'd shrunk. His breathing came harder, more disturbing to the ears, like a stopped-up pipe. "Thought you'd get there sooner," said the shipman. "We've been waiting all this time. Meanwhile, somebody else came. Round we thought, maybe, but wasn't you." "How'd you like that? Just anybody? Come wandering in here? But anyway, was expecting you sooner." I shrugged my shoulders. I always thought I would come back, I guess. I knew I had to, but I didn't have it together. I dreamed about it, about the Dolphin Hotel, dreamed about it all the time. But it took a while to make up my mind to come back. Try to put it out of my mind? "I guess so, yes," I said. Then I looked at my hands in the flickering candlelight. The draft was coming in from somewhere. In the beginning, I thought I should try to forget what I could forget. I wanted a life completely dissociated from this place. "Because your friend died?" "Yes, because my friend died." "But you came back," said the shipman. "Yes, I came back," I said. I couldn't get this place out of my mind. I tried to forget things, but then something else would pop up. So it didn't matter whether I liked it or not. I sort of knew I belonged here. I didn't really know what that meant either, but I knew it anyway. In my dreams about this place, I was part of everything. Someone was crying for me. Someone wanted me. That's why I came back. What is this place anyway? The shipman looked me hard in the face and shook his head. "Afraid we don't know much. It's real big. It's real dark. All we know is this room. Beyond here we don't know. But anyway, you're here, so must been time you found your way here. We see it. At least..." The shipman paused to ruminate. "Maybe somebody's crying for you. Thought this place, somebody who knew you'd be heading here anyway. Like a bird coming back to nest. But let's just say different. If you weren't coming back here, this place wouldn't exist." The shipman wrung his mitts. The shadow on the wall exaggerated every gesture on a grand scale, a dark spirit poised to seize me from above. Like a bird returning to the nest? Well, it did have the feel about it. Maybe my life had been following this unspoken course all this time. "So now, your turn," said the shipman. "Tell us about yourself. This here's your world. No need standing on ceremony. Take your time, talk about all you want. There is a dim light staring at the shadow on the wall. I poured out the story of my life. It had been so long, but slowly, like melting ice, I realized each circumstance. How I managed to support myself, yet never managed to go anywhere, never went anywhere, but aged all the same. How nothing touched me, and I touched nothing. How I'd lost track of what mattered. How I walked like a fool for things I didn't. How it didn't make a difference either way. How I was losing form, the tissues hardening, stiffening from within, terrifying me. How I barely made the connection to this place I didn't know, but had this feeling that I was part of. This place that maybe I knew instinctively I belonged to. The shipman listened to everything without saying a word. He might have been asleep, but when I was through talking, he opened his eyes and spoke softly. Don't worry, you really are part of here. Really, always have been, always will be. It all starts here, it all ends here. This is your place, it's the knot. It's tied to everything. Everything? Everything. Things you lost, things you're gonna lose, everything. Here's where it all ties together. I thought about this. I couldn't make any sense of it. His words were too vague, fuzzy. I had to get him to explain, but he was through talking. Did that mean explanation was impossible? He shook his woolly head silently. His sewed-on ears flapped up and down. The shadow on the wall quaked. So massively I thought the wall would collapse. It'll make sense, soon enough. It'll make sense. When the time comes, you'll understand, he assured me. But tell me one thing then, I said. Why did the owner of the Dolphin Hotel insist on the name for the new hotel? He did it for you, said the shipman. They had to keep the name so you'd come back. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. The building changes, the Dolphin Hotel stays. Like we said, it's all here. We've been waiting for you. I had to laugh. For me? They called this place the Dolphin Hotel just for me? Darn, Twintin. That's so strange. I shook my head. No, not strange, just amazing. It's so out of the blue. It's like it's not real. Oh, it's real, said the shipman softly. Real as the Dolphin Hotel sign downstairs, real. How real do you want? He tapped the table with his fingers and the flame of the candle shuddered. And we're really here. We've been waiting for you. We made arrangements with out of everything, so you could reconnect with everyone. I gazed into the dancing candle flame. This was too much to believe. I don't get it. Why would you go to all the trouble for me? This is your world, said the shipman matter-of-factly. Don't think too hard about it. If you're seeking it, it's here. The place was put here for you, it's special, and we worked special hard to get you back here, to keep things from falling apart, to keep you from forgetting. So I really am part of something here? Of course you belong here. Everybody is all in here. Together. This is your world, repeated the shipman. So who are you, and what are you doing here? We are the shipman, he chortled. Can't you tell? We wear the ship's skin, and we live in a world humans can't see. We were chased into the woods long time ago, long time ago. Can hardly remember what we were before. But since then we've been keeping out of sight, easy to do, if that's what you want. Then we came here, to look after the place. It's somewhere out of the elements. The woods got wild animals, know what we mean? Sure, I said. We connect things, that's what we do. Like a switchboard, we connect things. Here's the knot, and we tie it, we're the link. Don't want to things get lost. So we tie the knot. That's our duty. Switchboard duty. You seek for it, we connect. Get it? Sort of, I said. So, resumed the shipman. So now you need us, else you wouldn't be here. You lost things, so you're lost. You lost your way, your connections come undone. You got confused. Think, you got no ties, but here's where it all ties together. I thought about what he said. You're probably right. As you say, I'm lost, and I'm confused. I'm not anchored to anything. Here's the only place I feel like I belong to. I broke off and stared at my hands in the candlelight. But the other thing, the person I hear crying in my dreams, is there a connection here? I think I can feel it, If I could, I think I want to pick up where I left off years ago. That must be what I need you here for. The shipman was silent. He didn't seem to have more to say. The silence weighed heavily, as if we'd plunged to the bottom of a very deep pit. It bore down on me, pinning my thoughts under its gravity. From time to time, the candle sputtered. The shipman turned its gaze toward the flame. Still the silence continued, interminably. Then slowly the shipman raised his eyes towards me. We'll do what we can, said the shipman, though we're getting on in years. Hope we still got the stuff in us. We'll try, but no guarantees, no promises. You're gonna be happy. He picked at a snag in his fleece and searched for words. We just can't say in that other world. Might not mean any place anymore, not anywhere for you. You're starting to look pretty fixed. Maybe too fixed to pry loose. You're not so young anymore either, yourself. So where does that leave me? You lost lots of things. Lost lots of precious things. Not anybody's fault. But each time you lost something, you dropped a whole string of things with it. Not why. Why do you have to go and do that? I don't know. Hard to do different, your fate. Or something like fate. Tendencies. Tendencies? Tendencies. You got tendencies. So even if you did everything over again, your whole life, you got tendencies to do just what you did all over again. Yes, but where does that leave me? Like we said, we'll do what we can. Try to reconnect you to what you want, said the shipman. But we can do it alone. You gotta work too. Sitting's not gonna do it. Thinking's not gonna do it. So what do I have to do? Dance, said the shipman. You gotta dance. As long as the music plays, you gotta dance. Don't even think why. Start to think, your feet stop. Your feet stop, we get stuck. We get stuck, you're stuck. So don't pay any mind. No matter how dumb, you gotta keep the step. You gotta limber up. You gotta loosen what you bolted down. You gotta use all you got. We know you're tired and scared. Happens to everyone, okay? Just don't let your feet stop. I looked up and gazed again at the shadow on the wall. Dancing is everything, continued the shipman. Dance in tip-top form. Dance so it all keeps spinning. If you do that, we might be able to do something for you. You gotta dance, as long as the music plays. Dance, as long as the music plays, echoed in my mind. Hey, what is this world you keep talking about? You say that if I stay fixed in place, I'm going to be dragged from that world to this world, or something like that. But isn't this world meant for me? Doesn't it exist for me? So what's the problem? Didn't you say this place really exists? The shipman shook his head. His shadow shook a hurricane. Here's different. You're not ready. Not for here. Here's too dark. Too big. Hard to explain. Like we said, we don't know much, but it's real, alright? And you and us talking here's reality. But it's not the only reality. Lots of realities out there. We just chose this one. Because we don't like war, and we had nothing to lose. But you still got warmth. So here's too cold, nothing to eat. Not the place for you. No sooner had the shipman mentioned the cold than I noticed the temperature in the room. I burrowed my hands in my pockets, shivering. You feel it, don't you? Asked the shipman. Yes, I nodded. Time's running out, warned the shipman. The more time passes, the colder it gets. You better be going. Wait, one last thing. I guess you've been around all this time, except I haven't seen you. Just your shadow everywhere. You're just sort of always there. The shipman traced an indefinite shape with his finger. That's right, we're half shadow. We're half shadow. We're in between. But I still don't understand, I said. Here I can see your face and body clearly. I couldn't before, but now I can. Why? You lost so much, he bleated softly. That now you can see us. Do you mean... Embracing myself, I asked the big question. Is this the world of the dead? No, replied the shipman. His shoulders swayed as he took a breath. You and us, we're living, breathing, talking. I don't get it. Dance, he said. It's the only way. Wish we could explain things better. But we told you all we could. Dance. Don't think. Dance. Dance your best. Like your life depended on it. You gotta dance. The temperature was falling. I suddenly seemed to remember this chill. A bone-piercing, damp chill. Long ago and far away, but where? My mind was paralyzed, fixed and rigid. You better go, urged the shipman. Stay here, you'll freeze, but if you need us, we're here. You know where to find us. The shipman escorted me out to the bend in the hallway, dragging his feet along. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. We said goodbye. No handshake, no special salutations, just goodbye. And then we parted into the darkness. He returned to his tiny room and I continued to the elevator. I pressed the call button. When the elevator arrived, the door opened without a sound. Bright light spilled out over me into the hallway. I got in and collapsed against the wall. The door closed. I did not move. Well, I thought to myself, well, what? Nothing came after. My mind was a huge vacuum. A vacuum that went on and on endlessly nowhere. Like the shipman said, I was tired and scared and alone and lost. You gotta dance, the shipman said. You gotta dance, you gotta dance, echoed in my mind. Gotta dance. I repeated out loud. I pressed the button for the 15th floor. When the elevator got there, Moon River greeted me from the ceiling speakers. The real world where I probably could never be happy and never get anywhere. I glanced at my watch, return time 3:20 a.m. Well now, I thought, echoed in my mind.